Hey everybody, Carl here, and welcome back to our stream. So, I've been gone for a couple of weeks because the last several weekends we had some guest artists at the store promoting some exclusive comic covers that they had done for us. Hey, Dr. Red, nice. Thank you for joining me here. Uh, but yeah, so we had some artists in the past couple of weeks, so I was there for that. But now I'm back at home today on Saturday, November 21st, and I'm going to be assembling this Necron Catan Shard of the Void Dragon. So before I get to that, we do a little bit of house cleaning, go a little bit over some of the stuff that's going on at the store this weekend. So if you're a Magic the Gathering player, the brand new set Commander Legends has come out. Yesterday was the official release date. It's a large set, like 1,500 different cards. Let me correct that. 1,500 cards, not necessarily different ones. Different styles, certainly, because a lot of the cards do have alternate artworks or alternate frames, so there's a lot there, but a lot of repetition. Really good stuff in there, though, so if you're a fan of Magic the Gathering, specifically of the Commander format, it's definitely a good set to take a look at. So by all means, go on in and pick one up. And if you're a miniatures fan, which I'm assuming you are because you're here watching this stream where I'm going to be putting together some miniatures, and on other weeks I've painted them, we are beginning a brand new painting contest starting today. Again, this is November 21st. The contest this time around is going to be focused around Star Wars Legion. So you're going to be able to pick up a named character, do your best to paint them up, bring them on in, and then the general customer base will be voting on who did the best job. And the winner gets something special. I know Lewis wanted to keep it a little bit on the secretive side, so I'm not going to spoil anything here, but pop on in the store today, and we will be open from noon until 8 p.m. And jump on in, join the contest, and like I said, there's a really, really nice prize for whoever ends up getting in first place. And with that, I think that covers the basics. I guess general store information. We're located at 347 West Route 59 in Nanuet, New York, and we are open Sundays, Mondays, and Tuesdays from noon until 6, Wednesdays from noon till 8, Thursdays again from noon to 6, and then Fridays and Saturdays back to noon until 8. Okay, I think we're done with the basic housekeeping. You know where we are, you know when we are, and let's talk a little bit about what I'm putting together here. So the Necrons are kind of like this weird, like techno-zombie army in Warhammer. I don't know too much about their lore or much of the lore in general of the game, although I have started reading the Horus Heresy books because I'm a big fan of Dan Abnett, and Lewis strongly suggested that I should give them a shot. Lewis, of course, being our main miniatures guy. And when it comes down to the games, I really just kind of look for stuff I think looks cool. And when they originally revealed this guy several months ago, I saw the miniature. I'm like, this is gorgeous. I need to have this in my collection. So, from what I understand, the Catan are the Necron gods, and they've kind of diminished in their power. So all that's left of them are these shards. And within the game, there are 3 different ones that have been released over the past, however many years. There's the Catan Shard of the Nightbringer, the Catan Shard of the Deceiver, and now, which just came out last month, the Catan Shard of the Void Dragon. So, okay, enough of me just babbling here. Let's open it up and start putting this guy together. Now, one thing to note is that there are some options for customization with the Catan Shard of the Void Dragon. Primarily when it comes down to his head. There are 3 different head options, and I'm going to show you on the back of the box instead of just by holding up the sprue, which is not going to work out too well because it's at the top of the box and my camera kind of stinks. So, nope, that didn't work at all. Anyway, there are 3 different potential heads for the Catan Shard of the Void Dragon. You got the main one here, which is emblematic of the Necron's Ankh of the Triarch, a royal symbol of the Empire. I am absolutely cheating by looking up this on the Warhammer Wiki at the moment. And you got this other one here where it's got kind of like a jewel for a face, and this weird little like spiral on top of it, and then this other one on the side here, which looks kind of like a question mark. So what I'm going to do for mine is I'm going to go with the basic one, as you see in the main image here, the Ankh of the Triarch one, because I think that looks the coolest. So let me drop the box over on the side here, and let's start taking out the sprues. And welcome to everybody who's jumping on in and joining the stream as this is going on. Feel free to say hi in the chat, and I will be happy to acknowledge you and respond as I can. Okay then, so we've got surprisingly not as much stuff as you might think for a figure of this import. But yeah, decent number of pieces on here, so let's see how we get this thing going. We begin with parts 1 and 2, which is convenient enough. You would imagine you'd start with those numbers, and it looks like that's what we're doing. So let's find those. It looks like, according to the instructions here, we're looking for kind of the weird like electrical stuff that's going on around him. And let's see, I see 3, I see 26 and 33. Unfortunately, on the sprue itself, the numbers aren't necessarily close to each other. But I believe I have found number 1. Yep. So let's cut that out. Now remember, whenever you're cutting the stuff off the sprue, you're going to be using these, the die cut pliers or the clippers or cutters, however, so many different words for it depending on wherever you're using them from. But you always want to make sure you have the flat flush side, they're also known as flush cut incidentally, up against the piece itself, and you want the open side to go towards the rest of the sprue. This ensures a cleaner cut where you don't want the excess flashing. That really was the end of the sentence. I don't know why I kind of was wording that in such a way that it sounded like there was supposed to be more. So we've got a couple of connections here, and just make sure you look, whenever you're cutting this stuff, be very careful, not just because you don't want to cut off something you don't want to, although that is absolutely a part of it, but sometimes little like pieces that kind of stick out are actually supposed to be part of the piece. So you want to make sure that you are actually cutting off of the sprue and not the piece itself. And actually, now that I'm looking at it, looks like this bit here has, let's see if I can hold it up a bit more, his hand on there. So I guess we're starting with his hand. Okay, then we're going to take the file, find some of the places where we cut it off from the sprue, and we're just going to flatten it out a little bit, make it nice and neat. Now, usually once you've primed it and you're painting it, some of the color discrepancies, because you see when you have it cut off, you have kind of a white spot there. That's all going to get covered up, but you do want to try to get rid of some of the texture to it. Not the texture that's supposed to be on there, but the added like little bump from where you cut it off of the sprue. So that was piece number 1. Now we need to find piece number 2, which looks like continued parts of the lightning. And that couldn't be easy. Oh, here we are. Right over here. It's this part right here. It's nothing but lightning. With some cool little spirals. Actually, I guess a little bit of some of the stone or metal that's around it. So, clip there. That's 1, 2, 3 more clips I think we got here. 3, 4, and the last one is 5. Alrighty, let's take a look again, and again we're just going to see the spots where we cut it off the sprue, where there's a little bit of a ridge there. We're just going to file that down so it's a little smoother. And I think we're pretty solid on that. Got a little bump here. So we'll file that flat. A little bump over on this side. Alrighty then, so it looks like the little swirly part actually has his hand or his thumb on it, so that's going to attach to his hand. And there is a little bit of a square nub there, I don't know if you can see that well, and there is a square hole on that part. So that's where we're going to be connecting them. And looks like while holding the hand down, we want the larger part with this bit of stone there heading towards the bottom. So it's going to attach, there we go, just like that. So now we're going to go and take the plastic glue. Now, for those of you who are a little more unfamiliar with this, the way that plastic glue differs from super glue is that it's actually designed in such a way that instead of just creating an adhesive between the two pieces, it actually melts down the glue a little bit on either side and forces it to kind of fuse itself to each other. So in addition to having that adherent quality to the plastic glue itself, it's also making the plastic itself attach to the other plastic. So science. And again, one of the things I really like about the newer model kits is that they do show you on the instructions where the best place to put the plastic glue is. So here they're recommending you put it directly into the palm of his hand. And as always, when you're doing this, you want to make sure you don't use too much. Otherwise, you're going to get a bunch of excess gook all over the place, and that's just not going to look good. So I think I've done a little too much there, but yeah, I see a little coming out of the sides. But we're going to just hold those two together for a little bit. And I'm going to quickly grab a tissue and just kind of wipe off a little of the excess. Because like I said, we don't want too much extra gook all over the place. It kind of looks crappy even after you've painted it. Because the paint's just going to accentuate the extra ridges and crap that you have from where you had the extra glue that kind of stuck out on top. And there we go. Part one. We have his hand with the lightning coming out of it. Alrighty. Easy start. Let's move on now to part three, which appears to be his shoulder blades, his the base of his head with kind of like these horns coming out on the side, and his left arm, which is going to connect to the hand that we have there. And that's this piece right here. That was easy enough to find. It's a big one. So I'm going to grab the clippers again, and let's cut this on out. It is funny looking at the actual size of the sprue and the pieces on it. It does look considerably smaller than the pictures let on the packaging. Well, that's probably for the best anyway, because we don't want this guy to be too enormous. Just going to file down again the excess plastic that came off of the sprue. Oops. And throw them around a little bit because I'm a mess. Okay, you got a little bit of a nub on his shoulder there, so let's just file that down a little bit. Okay, so it looks like if he's facing this way, we have his arm here. It looks like this goes kind of in between the pieces there to fit like that. So we're going to take the plastic glue again. We're going to put it a little bit on the arm down here. So we have, just want to get a little bit of a tiny dot of it on the end of this, the wand at the end of it. Oops, I think I got a little too much in there. And it should snap right on into place there. Yep, and I definitely put too much glue on there because it just suddenly went all over his hand. So let's wipe that down. There we go, that's better. Some of the figures that GW puts out definitely fit together a lot better than others. Like this one, I'm noticing that you can definitely feel kind of, even though it isn't like a snap together kit, you can definitely kind of feel where the stuff's supposed to go really well. When I was putting together the Warcry Corvus Cabal warriors in previous videos, those were a little tougher because they didn't really have that. It was difficult to find out where they were really supposed to fit because they didn't quite feel right, and it took a lot of maneuvering to kind of get to where they're supposed to go. Okay, and nicely enough, the instructions do show an alternate angle, so you can see exactly that the lightning is supposed to be going in underneath his arm there. Alrighty, let's go on and grab parts 4 and 5. It looks like these are the front of his arm and his chest. So, nope, that might be a leg there. Okay, here's 4, which is right over here. It looks like this is the front of the arm as well as a little bit more lightning and stone. So let's go and cut this off properly. Nope. So I lose my grip on the clippers. And there. Let's just file this one down before we move on and find number 5. And get that little extra nib off of there. There we go. Tiny bit over there. Okay, that was number 4, and then number 5 is appears to be the chest piece, which is right over here. Now, one of the really cool things about the design of this is that it has almost like a bunch of like these pixelated like holes or gaps in his body, which really kind of adds that whole otherworldly, mechanical nature of it. Really presents it in kind of a unique way. It's actually fairly reminiscent of, I remember goodness, I think this is the first issue of Marvel's House of M. Or, I don't know, might have been a different issue, but it was definitely within that series. But there was this cover featuring Scarlet Witch, and her face was just kind of like discorporating in a bunch of like these blocks. And it looked very similar to this. Okay, let's do the arm next. So this is going to go, and it looks like the little bits of electricity. Goodness, will you stop dropping this, Carl? The bits of electricity are going to go in the front, and this is going to go in here. And actually, is this attached to the... Aha! This attaches to the previous electricity as well. Pretty sneaky, Games Workshop. I think. Or did I get that wrong? It's always the fun part of when I'm doing these videos and we're trying to figure out exactly how these things are supposed to connect, and I don't quite get it. And I get to fiddle around for a while you get to see me making a fool out of myself. So this definitely fits in over here somehow. And this part does definitely fit on top of the stone from the other electricity. So we're going to take a tiny bit of the plastic glue again. Again, you just want maybe the tiniest bubble to pop up at the end of the little metal wand there. Put it over there, and then a little on the sides here. Let's see if we can get this together properly. Might be easier to do the electricity first because it's got the wider spot, and then kind of guide the arm over. Okay, there we go. I'm just going to hold these in place for a little bit to give the glue a little time to work its magic. Well, that failed. So the stone seems to be all right. Arm is still kind of working on its thing. The problem is there are a lot of these like digitized gaps in there, or pixelated gaps, I guess I should say. So it does make things a little bit more difficult. And now that I'm looking at it, I'm thinking that stone, or what I thought was a stone earlier, might actually be his heart. That is creepy and awesome. And that is going to be such a pain in the tuchus to paint. Well, I'm just going to use the file to try to remove a little bit of that excess plastic glue that I got on there. Okay, and next let's put his chest plate on over that heart. So let's see if I can figure out the proper way to get this positioned before I start prepping the glue. Oh, okay, here we are. And that pretty much confirms that it is going to be a huge pain in the tuchus to paint that that heart. So this goes kind of on top here. We have a gap for his other arm. This is a tough one. And we can see the part where his head meets his neck. My goodness. And this is difficult. So there's definitely supposed to be a gap between his shoulder and his chest. Okay, there's a little tiny rectangular indentation there, as well as a rectangular tab on this one. So that's definitely where that's supposed to go. Oh, okay, so that's how it fits. Extremely lightly. Okay, now that I know how it fits, let's get some of the plastic glue and add it to these little rectangular divots. And as always, don't want to put too much in there. You know, I had it sitting there perfectly fine earlier, now it's getting troublesome again. Oh, here we go. And we'll just hold them in place for a little bit there and wait for the plastic glue to work its magic. So we have a left arm, his chest, and the back of his head. So next, let's see. I guess now we have to, this is the part where we start making our decisions as far as the front of his face before we add the other pieces in. And as I mentioned before, we're going to go with the Ankh. So, looks like we need to grab part 12 for the Ankh itself, part 11 for the front of his face. If we were going with the jewel one, then we'd be going with part 14. So, let's see now. Oh, there's the question mark one. So that's 13. No, we need 12. Where's that Ankh? Well, here's the front piece, part 11, which has his horns, his chin, which is very reminiscent of, it has a very Egyptian feel to it. Kind of like that, the pharaoh, like, goatee thing, or whatever you would call that. I am completely ignorant and horrible. And then 12 over here is the Ankh. Oops. As I start tossing stuff all over my my desk here. And just be very careful because it's a tinier piece. We don't want to break any of the important parts off. And let's just get that little bit of flashing off there from the sprue. Alrighty, so it looks like this little bit here on the end. Let's see if I can get a good. Okay, so that little part here fits into a little slot on the back of his head. So I think we're going to put that part in first, and then we put the front of the faceplate on top of that. So we're going to go and put a little bit of the plastic glue in that little divot on the back of his head. Get in there. Nope, didn't release any that time. Sometimes I get so careful about trying not to get too much plastic glue in there that I just don't get anything coming out of the pipe. Huh. Oh, there we go. Whoops. Way too much. See, if it's not one, it's one. If it's not one extreme, it's the other. Okay, let's get that on in there then. There we go. That's not too bad. And over time, well, it does hold the stuff in place fairly quickly. As time goes on, it does solidify a lot better, the connection there. So the next we need to do the little bits on the side here where the faceplate's going to go. We got these little nubs. Again, way too much on there. Just going to grab a little bit of some tissue and just kind of absorb some of it. And then this should fit right up top here. Just, oh, not quite. There we go. Just like that. And we'll hold that in place for a little bit. And there we go. Alrighty, so it looks like we got the top part of his body, his face and everything all set up. Or what passes for a face. And let's turn the page. Okay then. So next step, looks like it's going to be attaching one of his legs. So we need to grab two parts for this, parts 9 and 10. Shift that over there for a moment. And, nope, that's 6, I think. Yep, that definitely has a line underneath this. That is definitely 6 for his other arm, which looks like we'll be adding later on. I don't know why they didn't number that one differently, so we'd be going properly in order with the numbers, but I don't know, I don't make these things, so I'm sure they have their reasons. Okay then. Nope, that's his other leg. So, okay, well I found 10 already, which is this piece right over here. So let's go grab that first. And again, very careful with clipping these off of the sprue. Don't want to make any mistakes. And now I got to find the other part of his leg. And again, note that's number 7. What we need is number 9. Hey, there we are. Right on over here. Looks like this one also has his waist in it. You really have to just marvel at how detailed GW gets with their pieces. Like you can see, aside from the pixelization of the way that he's all kind of like disconnected there, but just the musculature on him, even like on his feet here, like you can see the details on the toes and on the muscles on the bottom of his foot. So they really go crazy with the detail on this. It's just astounding. Things that you think normally wouldn't even really think of if you were when you're painting or when you're playing the game. You're not really thinking about how, oh wait a second, look, I can see the muscle on this guy's thumb or whatever, but still is it shows they put a lot of care into it. Yeah, whatever you may say about the company, you definitely can't deny that. Okay, I think we're pretty smooth on these now. So we've got the, I believe this is the back of his leg, and we got the front of his leg. I'm just going to piece them together and make sure that they feel like they fit right. And they do. Okay then, so let's take a quick look and see where they suggest we put the plastic glue. And it looks like we're going on the sides of the back here. And sure enough, there are some little rectangular divots, just like they were on the other pieces. So the front and the back should fit together pretty nicely. And that's where we're going to put all this stuff. Oh, there's even a little peg on the bottom that fits inside the front of his foot. Oops, there we go. And we'll just hold those together for a little bit. Oh, excuse me. And I guess we leave that off to the side for now, because it looks like from the image here that we're looking at his other leg. So I guess 7 and 8, what the heck? I think they numbered these wrong. So I just cut off 9 and 10, and that's definitely his right leg. But up here, it looks like that's supposed to be his left. So I think 7, they numbered something wrong, either in the instructions or on the sprue itself. That's all right, we just won't call too much attention to that. Too nice to do that. Big mistake! Excuse me, sorry, I got a bit of a cold today. And trim a little bit there. Gotta be careful, don't want to cut any of his toes off. Alrighty. Looks like we're pretty well handled. Nope, got a little bit of a flash point on his ankle there, so let's just smooth that out. And a little bit on his thigh, so let's smooth that out as well. Okay, so next we need part number 8, which should have some more of that lightning with it. And I turn the sprue upside down so I can't see the numbers. That doesn't help me. Where are you, other part of the leg? And survey says... Nope, that's an arm. Oh, here we are. Might help if I actually put it on the camera. Right over there. So right now with 9th edition, the Necrons and the Space Marines seem to be getting all of the love, but not to worry, because there will be more options, you know, as time goes on. And as more and more stuff gets released, we'll certainly be carrying them. If you join our ToyWiz Tabletop Club over on Facebook, just go on Facebook, do a search for ToyWiz Tabletop Club TTC, and you'll be able to find us. Lewis posts there every week with what new stuff's coming out, so you can give him a heads up on what stuff you'd like to pre-order, and make sure that when it does come in, we'll put it aside for you, so you don't need to worry about us selling out. It also lets us know how much to order on things, so this way, again, keeps us from selling out of stuff, but also it keeps us from over-ordering or under-ordering on things. So definitely help yourself and help us at the same time by joining the ToyWiz Tabletop Club. I also post still images of the stuff I paint on the stream, both on our Facebook page, facebook.com/ToyWizCollectibles, and on the, I then link it over to the club. So this way, if you're watching the stream and you can't really get a good view of the final product because my camera here isn't the best, This way you can see, the final result for a lot of this stuff. And then you can make fun of me for how badly I screwed it up. Or compliment me on how well I did on it. But of course, this is the internet, so it's probably going to be the former and not the latter. And I completely missed the garbage can with throwing that tissue. Oh well. Okay then, so this is the part that was supposed to be done first. So we're going to attach this. Oh, this is going to be interesting. To this side of his body. So where does this go? Looks like it definitely goes over on this side of him. But the question is now figuring out where exactly it connects. And that is a tough one. I'm guessing that... Okay, I think I see some ribs, so... Maybe it's up here a bit more. Okay, part of it definitely has to attach to that part on the bottom, I assume. So, oh, but here we are. There's a little bit of a peg there, so there's got to be a little bit of a gap on the other side to tell me where that's supposed to go. Or so I would think. And I'd be wrong. Because I think I just found... Okay, there's a little peg on this side, and there is a little bit of an indentation over here. So this goes... Aha! Come on. Don't tell me that I was wrong on that. Again, this is why I'm figuring this out before I put the glue on it. Otherwise it would be a complete disaster. So definitely have a little peg there, so that's got to go into... there. Oh, trying to attach the wrong part there. So it's got to go in there, I believe. Okay, yeah. So it definitely goes in there. Just have to twist it the right way, like that. Oh wow, that is a pain in the ass. Or took us if I want to be a little more family friendly. No, I think this this is deserving of the of being a little less family friendly. I'm not going to drop any full profanity, but I think you can. I think you guys can forgive me using the word ass in there. Okay. Now that we've put a little bit of plastic glue on it, let's put this back into place, or attempt to put this back into place. I had it a second ago, and now I lost it again. Oh no. Nope, not working out nicely. Oh, hold on, there we go. There we go. Okay. Wow. I'm just going to let that sit here for a few moments while I just kind of turn it around and double check and make sure it looks like it's properly fixed. It looks like it is, but it's definitely going to take a little time to kind of settle. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. That's really all I got to say right now about that. It also looks, though, like it's a little turned weird. Okay, well, that seems to be pretty correct. So now we have to attach this part, which looks like it does go directly into there, as well as attaching to the side. So again, let's try to find exactly where it goes. And it looks like that's... Again, trying to find where the pegs are versus the little divots. It looks like this primarily attaches just directly over to the other leg, right there around the crotch. So that's apparently what we're going to have to do. And I guess the other question is, does it connect in the back as well? And it doesn't look like it from the instructions here. Yeah, there's a little bit of a problem with where the little squares are. It's a question of, is that square there because it's a connecting point, or is it there because it's part of the whole like weird pixelization look they have going for them? Very tricky. But the plastic glue for this one just goes along the rim of his leg here. So I'll put a little bit of that all around there. And let's see if we can get this to connect properly as my cat goes running around in the background. Okay, so that definitely connects like that. And I want to say that it looks like it's supposed to connect on the back side here too. So what I'm going to do, I hope I'm not screwing this up, is I'm going to put a little bit of plastic glue on the back of his chest here. And then pull this back to hold that in place. Oh, you know what? It is supposed to go there. You can see where it connects to his leg as well. So I'm going to put a little plastic glue down here too. And then shift that over so that goes in properly. Just in there. Whew. That was difficult. Oh, shoot. And I just went and undid the entire thing. So reconnect his butt, reconnect his legs, and then reconnect those to the torso. Jeez. This is not easy. Okay. So thankfully his other leg didn't fall off because I was worried that that was going to happen. Still looks like it might. But let's put a little more of the plastic glue back on here. Again, I want to be very careful with this because I already put some on there before and I still have some of it on there. But I don't want this to be, I need this to be solid and secure. But Dr. Red, too many small pieces for me. I have no patience for this kind of assembly, LOL. Yeah, definitely got to agree with you on this one. It's, I mean, it's a gorgeous piece, and I really want to make sure it comes out well, but oh my goodness, is this, the connections on here, because, I mean, I'd say in part, for the most part, because of all the holes on them and everything, there are very few places where the pieces connect to each other, and you have to be extremely precise with it. So let's see if I can reconnect this. Okay, we're getting there. Kinda. I am fiddling with this guy's butt way too much. I mean, it's a nice butt, but... Oh my stars. It completely came off this time. Alright, you know what? Let's try doing this a little different way. I'm going to connect the two sides of his legs together first. His two legs together first. And I'll wait for those to fuse properly. You know, let's try wiping some of this gook off here. Starting over from scratch on this part. Okay. So we're going to begin by putting the two legs together, assembling his crotch and his butt, as my kitty is meowing in the background. And for anybody who cares, I just got a new kitten this past week. It was 1 week ago this past Thursday, so little Vivi is still getting used to things. He's a bit of a shy boy, but he's definitely warming up, and now he's found the tissue that I used to wipe that last bit of extra plastic glue off, and he's playing around with it. Dr. Red, yay. Yes, absolutely, yay. He is adorable. Dr. Red, I know I've got you friended on Facebook, so you can see tons of pictures of the little guy up there. And if you're not somebody who has been personally friended on Facebook, which I wouldn't blame you because I am a lot less, I wouldn't say friendly, but definitely a little more NSFW on my Facebook page. But if you get our comic newsletter, I did put a lovely little picture of Vivi up in that yesterday. Sorry, not yesterday, Wednesday morning, so it's a couple days ago. Once again, thanks to the pandemic, time is a very fluid, bizarre thing. But yeah, go to our Twitter channel, twitter.com/ToyWiz.store. Check back on Wednesday where we have a link to our comic newsletter. And you can find a picture of little Vivi Alphador there. Vivi after the Black Mage from Final Fantasy IX. And his middle name Alphador from the cat that's owned by Magus in Chrono Trigger. Alright. Now let's see if I can attach this a little bit more easily as a full piece. And the answer is, it sure as hell feels a lot better. Yep. Now, unfortunately, I still have the gook all over the place, but definitely feels a lot more solid attaching the entire bottom half together before attaching it to the top half. So here we go so far. It looks like we've got most of his body down pat. Next, we move on to his other arm, and then the body's done, and it's all about the... well, actually, no, because we still have his back piece, because apparently he's being controlled by a separate metallic scarab-type thing. So we still have to do that, and the tail and everything, as well as the other... Okay, I lied about the body. Let me reword that. His main body will be done very shortly, and then the rest is accessories. Alrighty then, so next we have his other arm, which is part number 6, which is easy enough to find right on the end here, because it's holding a gigantic spear, which looks really cool. And Vivi has now torn that tissue apart. Definitely gonna have to do a little bit of cleaning. I don't know if you can hear him meowing in the background. He's still a little kitten. He's only 4.5 months old, so he's still got the little tiny kitten mew going. And he is whiny. Hey, Vivi, you want to say hi to everyone on the stream? As he walks out of the room and ignores me now. Gotta love cats. They just do their own thing, regardless of what you may want. Oh, someone's getting a lot more insistent now. Hold on a second. Nope, he's not paying attention. So I was going to have to take a moment to give him some head rubs, otherwise he'd be extremely angry, but he's doing his own thing still. Okay, so the arm should fit pretty nicely and easily. It feels, pretty good there. I don't know if you saw his tail in the upper corner of the shot. I keep getting distracted by Kitty. He's so adorable. 4.5 months, pitch black, big yellow eyes, a tiny little white, almost like little bow tie underneath his chin. They warned me when I got him that he was going to be a shy boy, so I knew what to expect. I didn't expect him to kind of go, running around immediately right off the bat. And sure enough, as soon as we got him out of the carrier, my border collie, Pixie, had to go up and start sniffing at him. She jumped out of the kitchen where I was trying to keep her separated so I could give him time to, get used to his new surroundings before, dog. And from that point, he kind of went on his little hiding spree. But within a couple of days, he was a lot more exploratory, a lot more curious. And he seems to be fitting into his new home very well. Here we go. Not too bad so far. I mean, yeah, we had a bit of a difficulty with getting his legs together, but definitely things are picking up. Next, we have that control scarab that's on its back. So we're going to need parts 17, 19, and 20. Again, wondering why they use the numbering scheme that they do. But whatever. Okay. Oh, 18 appears to be the bottom of his tail. Okay, here's the kind of spine thing. That's number 17. So let's take that off. One. Okay, got to be very careful that I cut it at the spine and not the extra bit of sprue on there. Okay. There we go. So that was 17, and I still need 19 and 20, because why bother with 18? Now I'm curious, what the heck was 18 that they decided to skip over it? Are we coming back to it later? Oh wait, no, I already said 18. It was the bottom of the tail. Ignore me. Okay. Here's 20. Again, you'd think that they would make that, since that comes into play a lot later, a much higher number, but so be it. Okay, got 17, got 20, just got to find 19, which should be the other half of the scarab, and is completely in a separate part of the sprue from the others. Now this part's understandable because you have, so you want to minimize the amount of plastic you're wasting with the sprue itself, so you can't necessarily put parts that are go together on the sprue, because you need to kind of jigsaw those around to get them in a proper configuration. So that part I will forgive for now. So on this spine, we've got these two pegs up by the top where it attaches to his back, and these parts here are where the side bits with the claws are going to attach to. So, and we've got to make sure the ball's facing front. And the claws kind of go... Aha, I was wrong. Too many pictures. Okay, so the claws go forward from that perspective. So if you're looking at it from the top, they're kind of in front. Yeah, they give you two different perspectives here, but they don't really make it clear enough how which perspective is which. Okay, so looks like that's how it's supposed to go. So let's get some of that plastic glue, put it on the peg there. If I can get it to come out of there we go. Oops, as I knock over my Japanese alternate art Soren from War of the Spark. And we'll just fit that right in there. And give it a few moments to settle while we get the other side in there. Oops. Okay. Just going to tilt that back a little bit. Give it some time to set. And there we go. So it looks like next we're just going to leave this off to the side for a little bit. And we're going to work on the base. So we've got the base. And then we have the kind of like little stone edifice that's going to be sitting on top of it. That's parts 21 through 24. So we got 22 over here. And on this side, we've got 21, 23, and 24. Also, to anybody watching this live, please feel free to comment, talk amongst yourselves, talk to me. I know Dr. Red's been very helpful along those lines. But the rest of you are certainly welcome to chime in. If you have any questions about what I'm doing, or if you just want to say hi, or if you want to get something off your chest, or anything, whatever. Just a nice, friendly, open space for everyone. Just avoid some foul language. Alrighty, so I think we got all 4 pieces of the base, and probably should have been a bit more careful when cutting these out and paid more attention to which piece is numbered what. So this part here is definitely part number 23. Where to put my file? There we go. And I'm guessing this part here is 21. Yep. Because those 2 pieces fit right together just like that. You can even see, some indentation, some bumps there that fit into indentations on that side. Excuse me. So let's start by attaching those 2 pieces together. And Vivi has now jumped up onto the little table I keep my fan on. Let's see how long it takes before he decides to come over and see what's going on over here on the computer desk. Yeah, I see you there, Vivi. There we go. And then, let's see. Okay, so this one's got a little round indentation, which matches with the skull that's on the base there. Oh, he's getting closer. We're going to get a little kitty visit for the stream. That would be cute. Nope, just kind of sitting there watching me right now. Trying to make up his mind what's going on. Oh, he's coming closer. So on the edge of the desk, near the chocobo glasses holder I have. Yep, Square Enix made a plush chocobo that's designed to hold glasses. And I know it's something I did get it through one of our distributors at the store. Not sure if it's something we actually have on the website. It's something we probably should because it's adorable and it's useful. Oops. Oh, and Vivi has now moved over to my bookcase. Alrighty, cool, so those connect all right. A little bit of a gap there for some reason, I'm not sure why, but the other parts definitely attached with no problem. And it was pretty consistent on top too. So that just leaves one more piece for this base. Just make sure that the flat sides are fully flat so they'll connect all right. Again, filing down just a little bit of nubs that are on there as Vivi goes and knocks over some of my toys. Now, for those of you who have jumped in a little bit more and missed my intro for this, we are doing a new painting contest this week that starts up today. Today being Saturday, November 21st, in case you're watching this, after the fact on our Facebook feed or in the replays on Twitch. And the new painting contest is based around the Star Wars Legion miniatures game. So what you do is you pick a named character. And I know that there are some new ones out this week, including Darth Maul, so you can go with him if you think that's one you might want to do. We pick a named character, you want to assemble and paint him. We put him on display, and then throughout the course of about, I believe, a week we normally do for it, we let the people that come into the store doing their shopping vote on which one they think looks the best. And if you win, we have a really, really nice prize set up. But I'm not going to tell you what it is because I'm pretty sure Lewis wanted to keep it secret. So if you want to know what it is, you can go on into the store today, sometime between noon and 8 p.m. Because those are when the hours the store's open today, and ask Lewis about it, and he'll be happy to tell you, or he'll kind of like chuckle and be a little mysterious about it. But yeah, the prize is really nice. Just take my word on that for now. And yeah, get yourself a Star Wars Legion mini, paint it up, and then hope that the general voting public thinks that yours looks the coolest. And let me give you a couple of additional tips when deciding what you want to do for the painting contest. Remember that for all that we do our best to try to let everyone know that they should vote based purely on the painting, there's an element where people are going to just be like, hey, wait a second, I like Darth Maul, so I'm going to vote for Darth Maul. So keep that in mind when you're choosing a character you want to use for the contest. Maybe go with someone that's a kind of a bit more of an established fan favorite. Alrighty, we have the base complete. Next, we're going to get some of the additional electric bits and the other stone that's all kind of like erupting up from it. So we're going to need to grab, for the larger piece here, parts 27, 28, and 29. Excuse me. I've always loved dogs and cats, more of a cat person than a dog person, but I'm also allergic to them, and my Allegra from the other day seems to be running out. So I'm definitely going to have to take a little bit more of that a little bit later. Okay, you know what, let me put these other parts over on the side here for now, which is probably not the best bet because I'm going to have to turn the page soon, but at least gives me a little extra space for the time being. So that was 27. Next we grab 28. I think I'll attach 28 before I cut 29 off, just to make it a little bit easier to keep track of everything. Of course, the catch is I got to find 28 first. 31, 32. Oh, there we are, 28. Tiny piece right over here. we go. So it looks like this part is going to go down here. Well, fits perfectly. A little too perfectly. Now I'm worried about the other shoe dropping. Alrighty then. Get a little bit of the plastic glue on the edge there. And just snap that right on it. Boom. Easy. Next, we'll grab part number 29, which is going to go on the other half of that, which is right over here by my thumb. Snip, 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 and away we go. Okay, don't really see too much flashing left over from the sprue. That's good. So now it's a question of which part goes where. I'm thinking that this flatter part here is what goes up here, and this part here is what attaches to the base. Let's see if I'm right. Oops. That plastic glue dried a little bit already, so let's get a little more back on there. But Carl, didn't you just say you should test it first? Yes. Yes, I did. I'm being reckless. Thankfully, it paid off this time. Okay, then. So let's bring the base back before I put the other two pieces here. We're going to have to cut off the side. Let's finish up with this one. Vivi is now sitting on my bed, and he's lying down, and he's rolling over on his side, and he looks so freaking precious. Okay, then. And he just meowed. Okay. Now, they definitely turned things around a bit here. So, well, I feel foolish now. Let's put that back into place. It was sitting perfectly fine. What happened? Okay. So these parts here definitely have to attach to things down here. We just have to find out where. And it looks like the part I just attached here is going to be going more towards the center. And there are little indications of where things are supposed to go in the base that I already put down. So let's see if we can find where these fit. So it looks like on the side here there's a part that definitely has kind of a... Okay. Let's see. There's a squarish bit here, which is probably that. So let me turn that around. So this is facing the opposite direction from this picture here. And then this, let's see. Boom! How perfect is that? That's exactly where it's supposed to go. Perfect. So we're going to put a little of the plastic glue down here on the base in that little spot. And a little over here. It says we're supposed to put the plastic glue on the part that's sticking in there, so I'll put a little on here. Not too much. And hopefully I can snap it right back in just where I had it. Yep, there we go. Whew. Nice, thank you, Dr. Red. Okay. Pretty cool looking so far. Alrighty then. Next we have to grab parts 25 and 31. Screw it, I'll say it anyway. Yes, once again, questioning the numbering scheme on this. Okay. Toss the sprue over to the side for now. And let's just file down that little nub. Okay, that looks a bit better. And flatten that on the back a little bit. Looks like this is supposed to attach to something. This is probably going to attach to a piece on the main body. In fact, if I had to guess, I would be wrong. It doesn't go on that one. Either way, so this is part 25, so that's going to go right over here. Wow, got it on the first guess. So let's, again, get some of the plastic glue in the divots on the base first. And in there too. And then just a little bit on the bottoms here. Just a tiny bit. And we'll just put that into place right there. Just like that. Alrighty. Next, part number 31. Which is right over here. My clippers have a mind of their own. Okay, now let's turn this over. Get a better angle to cut these parts off. There we go. Caught it on my finger. My favorite finger, no less. Tiny bit of filing on the sides there. And then this goes somewhere over on this side. Looks like facing forward, so oh, there we go, right there. So again, I'm going to put a little of the plastic glue here on the base. Right into that little hole. Oop, a little too much there. And over on the side there. And just a tiny bit on the flat parts of the plastic that are supposed to attach. And then this goes right back in there. And there we have it. This was the easiest part so far. Alrighty. We got the weird spinal tail thing. We got the main body. Let's turn the page and see what comes next. And we are on the last page now, so getting towards the end. Now you have all the really like detailed, crazy stuff that's going to just drive me nuts. So first thing we need to do, we turn this around a little bit. We're going to attach part 32 to this piece here on the base. And that is this one right over here. Incidentally, while we were working on the base, this has become a lot more stable. You can see it doesn't have any of the wiggling that it was doing earlier. So the glue has done its job and fully set completely on here. His butt is not removing from his body anymore. Oh, except for that little hole in his rear end there. Okay then, so enough about his butt. for now. We'll probably come back to it later just because it's amusing me. But first, let's move the sprue over again so I can actually see the instructions. So these parts float up on top, and this is going to go right in there. Again, these base pieces definitely fit together a lot nicer than the other parts did. So I'm going to take the plastic glue, we're going to just run it all the way around the edge on here. Oops. Might have gotten a little too much there again. And we'll just attach that, just like that. And there we go. So next we've got part number 26, which looks like it's going to be connecting a couple of these together. Oh my. This is what happens when you pick a miniature based off what you think looks cool and not based on your actual skill or ability to put the things together. This piece is gorgeous, but between all the details and everything about it, it's definitely a lot more challenging than the other ones I've done so far. And I will even include the Corvus Cabal guys in with that, despite their difficulty in finding out how the pieces are supposed to connect. This one I'm just dealing with really tiny things. Okay, well, it looks pretty clean. So now we just have to figure out where this fits in. So the two bits on top stay on top, while the larger bit stays on the bottom. And it looks like, let's see. Oh boy. So that's the piece we just attached. This has to go in here, which does seem to fit in pretty nicely as it's supposed to. It should kind of get a little snap into place. Yep. And then, wow, then it attaches to both of the other parts. You see that? Alrighty then. Let's do this. So I'm going to start, I think I'm going to attach these two pieces first, and then I'll go and I'll glue the other side. So let's get a little of the plastic glue here out again. And on this piece up top as well. And then connect this to both of those spots and fail miserably as I drop it onto the instructions. And while those are settling into place, I'm going to put the plastic glue on this side. Trying not to get it on my fingers. Succeeding. And then attaching that over there. Okay. We're getting there. Look at that. Look at how nice that looks. Okay then. Making progress. Next up, we've got piece number 30. And this is going to be another big lightning one. That having been said, though, I think it's the last of the big lightning ones. Nope, I was wrong. There's a smaller lightning one. Well, I guess technically then it's not a big lightning one. Actually, yeah, looking at it now, it turns out this isn't a very big one. It just looks a lot more of a mess here because we see the bigger ones in place. And plus they show it in two different locations. Well, no, that's the previous one we added. Okay. There's a lot of pieces here. It's a little difficult to tell what's what. almost done with the base. Now we can finally attach the body to the base and finish up the last of the accessories on the body. So, this piece here connects to this piece here, or so it would seem. Yep, it does. And then the other piece goes up there. Okay, pretty straightforward. And I just realized I got a little bit of a flash on there, so let's just file that off a little bit. Alrighty. Let's see exactly again where this part goes so I know where to put the other bit of glue. It's down there. Okay, so we're putting the glue there. Actually, I'll point with the glue. There and there. And my puppy is now making silly noises in her sleep, as Vivi continues to rest on the... Oh, nope. Vivi is now concerned because he's hearing the weird noises Pixie's making in her sleep. But he's still lying down in the bed. Excuse me. Alrighty then. Looks like everything is connecting all right. Whole web of lightning bolts going on there. We have one last small piece of lightning to attach. And that's number 33. And then we get on to attaching the tail to the base, which is then going to go up and hold the body in place. And that's when we finally come back to number 18. But first, we'll do 33. Which is right over here. Alrighty. Now we gotta figure out where this part goes. So let's see. Bigger part towards the bottom, smaller part towards the top. And I see a couple places where it might go. Nope, not there. Ah, there we are. Right here. See? Oops, as it drops out because I didn't affix it yet. But yeah, this part fits right in there. Okay. Let's put down the plastic glue. Oops. Getting a little too much in there. And we'll just set that into place. And let it dry. Okay. So that part's set. Next, the tail. And again, you got to be very careful with this one because you see they have the spines coming off of the spine. The spine's coming off the spine. Nice way to word that, Carl. So anyway, the little spiky bits coming off the spine go directly to the sprue there. So when you're cutting it, you want to make sure you're not taking off the part that's supposed to be there and you're only taking off the sprue. And got that again down there. And then, did I get the part? Okay, yeah, so we've just got this part over here now. Okay, there we go. Let's just take a quick look and make sure that there's no flash menu to file off. Looks pretty secure. Why did I say secure when I'm talking about the friggin' flashing? Anyway, so this, with the bit of stone there, should fit over here, I'm guessing. And sure enough, it looks like it does. Just like that. Now it's glued into place. Oops. And we'll just hold that in place a little bit to give the plastic glue some time to adhere. Oops. Get a little more time, because this is going to be one of the pieces that's instrumental in holding things in place. So I definitely want to make sure that has a little time to settle before I try to move anything else around. Alrighty then. So the next step is going to be attaching the body to the base. And so that's why we have these little bits of rock here. So let's find out where he goes. So the tail definitely stays over on this side compared to the way I'm holding it, so I can see it better. Let's see then. So I think this part here is going to attach to this here. Okay, hold on. So this bit of rock is probably going to attach to this larger bit of rock. And then that goes around there, which leaves this going up onto where the tail is attached. Yep, so we have 4 points of contact between the body and the base. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yep. Alrighty. Let's try this. Get the plastic glue on the. I'm going to do the larger stone part first. Since that's got the most surface area. I'll get this little bit here, then this little bit over here, and then finally this bit up here. Okay, and we'll attach them. That goes there, 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 and there. Holy crap, I did it. And we'll leave those sit for a little bit to make sure they're properly stable. And here we are. Looking really good so far. We still have a few more accessories we got to put on, including his wings, some additional stuff on his back, but we're definitely making some really good progress here. Not just evident from the fact that we're on the final page of the instructions. Alrighty. And obviously as I'm holding up to the camera, you can get a bit of a view of it, but I'll also make sure I get a better still shot that I'll be posting up on our Facebook page. Again, Facebook.com/ToyWiz Collectibles. I'll put it up on our Twitter as well. And I'll be linking it again into our tabletop club. Alrighty then. So 1 and 3 are connected. Next we're going to grab parts 15 and 16, which are the wings. And then we attach general part 2, or the thing I assembled earlier, to his back as well. I think it might be easiest if I put this on first, because it looks like there's a gap there where it's supposed to go, and then the bit here goes into the end of the tail. So I'm going to do that, and then I'm going to do the wings. Oh, wait a second. No, I'm not going to do that, because the wings have to go inside them. Oh boy. Let's cut the wings off first, shall we? And yeah, those are the only things remaining on the sprue aside from the 2 alternate faces. Oh, there we are. Good thing I stopped myself because that could have been disastrous. Although probably would have been a bit more entertaining for you guys watching. Because there's nothing quite like Schadenfreude. If you're not familiar with the term Schadenfreude, it's a German word that, while it's not a direct translation into English, essentially it comes out to happiness at the misfortune of others. And there was a lovely song in the very twisted Broadway musical, or off-Broadway musical, Avenue Q, about it. Alrighty then. So now to figure out how these attach. So these divots here are supposed to attach to either side of the tail. Specifically, it looks like these little parts down here. So this should theoretically go, if I have this correct, somewhere around there. Okay, I can kind of feel it. And then there's an extra bit underneath it that will go directly into his back, and that fits a lot better. Okay, you know what? Let's attach the wings to the back first, and then we're going to go with the scarab tail thinger with the spinal look. So we'll begin with putting the plastic glue right here on his shoulder blades, in the little divot, and around it on the outside there. Oops, didn't need to put it on the outside because that's not where we're supposed to go. Alrighty, let's get that let's get a tissue out and we'll clean that up again, because I don't want that too much extra plastic in there, plastic glue in there. Oh, Vivi just heard me throw that tissue away. And then we have the other side here. That's where we're supposed to put it. Okay. The wings are attached. So that's just a matter of getting this part in there. So put a little of the plastic glue in the indentations on the wings. And in the little gap in the back there. So this should fit, I hope, right on in here, like so. I think it worked. So that just means I gotta put a little plastic glue on this connector down here where the spine continues and becomes a full-on tail. And that goes there. And with that, I think we've got a finished miniature. How gorgeous is this piece? Let me get this out of the way so we can give a better background there without all the noise in the way. How amazing does this look? GW really outdid themselves on this one, I think. And I mean, this is why when I saw their original, leak of the image, I'm like, I need to have this one. So in the next week, I'm going to prime this guy. So next Saturday comes the painting. And I anticipate that being a I anticipate that being a pretty long stream, so be ready for it. Awesome, thank you very much, Dr. Red. So, just to give you a bit of a preview, now we have the official, painted version up here in the corner, and I can show you the picture here from the instructions. I'm going to be hewing pretty close to it, keeping with the kind of like the darker steel for the wings and the spine, going to go with a kind of a light silver body and the gold for the crown. But all the parts that are green here, I'm going to be going with the more of a purple and a pink. As if you've seen my other videos, you know I'm a big fan of Shaiish purple and Volupus pink, and those are the colors I'm planning on using. So the lighter bits will be the Volupus pink, and the darker bits will be the Shaiish purple. And where the heck is the lid for my plastic glue? Well, I'll find it eventually. I gotta do some cleaning up anyway. So with that, I guess that's going to be the end of today's stream. Thank you very much for joining me. If you're watching this after the fact, thank you for watching this after the fact. I hope you enjoyed what you saw here. I hope this has given you an interest in the Necron models for 9th edition, because, dear Lord, this thing is gorgeous. We do have more of this guy available at the store, as well as plenty of other stuff for 40K. If you're into other miniatures games, we still have Legion. We've got Crisis Protocol for the Marvel characters, so plenty of options. Time to, I guess, just go down the general information about the store again. So we are open on Sundays through Tuesdays from noon till 6, Wednesdays from noon to 8, Thursdays we're back to noon to 6, and then Fridays and Saturdays noon to 8 again. We just we increased our hours on Wednesday a couple weeks back, so this way the miniatures players can get a little more time and get some gaming going. While the card tables are still down just for safety purposes, the miniatures tables are available because it's a lot easier to maintain a safe social distance when you have a 4-foot table between you and your opponent. So if you're interested in gaming, you can still pop on in and get some games in. Feel free to join our tabletop club, ToyWiz Tabletop Club, on Facebook. You can also follow our official Facebook page, facebook.com/ToyWizCollectibles. Follow us on other social media. Take care of Dr. Red. Other social media, you can find us at youtube.com/ToyWiz, on Instagram at ToyWiz Store, on Twitter at ToyWiz Store. Obviously, you're already following us here on Twitch, I hope. What else do I need to get in there? Any questions you have miniatures related, Lewis is our guy. He does all of our ordering, so if there's anything we don't have in the store, talk to him. He'll be able to get it for you, most likely. If you're not into miniatures, but you're into comics, I'm the main comic guy. If you're into Magic the Gathering, you can talk to Chris. Plenty of us there. We all have our little areas of specialties. We have our areas of specialty. Expertise. I was combining specialty and expertise. We have our areas of expertise, but we do dabble a little bit in everything else. So I can give you a little information about the Warhammer stuff or the Magic. I'm pretty decent on the Magic stuff myself. But if anyone doesn't know specifically what you're looking for, we can easily pass it off to someone who does. Come on by, stay safe, everyone, and I will see you next week when we paint this guy. And check back on our Facebook and Twitter and Instagram pages, where I'll have a nice still shot so you can see exactly how this guy looks. Take care now, and I'll see you next time.